Brent is tying up a variation of the Partridge and Orange. There will be tips using different materials to create a unique searching pattern.
Well, here we are, folks. I was going to have my next fly be a Partridge and Orange to show you how to properly do a soft hackle fly. I've also had some other techniques I wanted to show you, so I'm going to kind of put them all together in this fly here, just something I created just a minute ago, but so it's never been fished, but I just want to show you some other tips as we go along, so I'll include it with this, okay? So we'll bit of a tying demo here on this one. You can use your imagination a little bit. I'm tying it quite large. I don't know what the size of, I guess I would know if I use my hook gauge, wouldn't I? Oh, this is a size 8 wet fly hook. It's a pretty good size. That fly would catch trout, panfish, and everything with that. Okay, I'm going to be using some orange thread. Address this shank. 6/0 thread. That, as we talked about, keeps materials from sliding around on you. I want this fly to get down a little bit, so I'm just going to bring in a little bit of weight here. We'll put some, you put a bead head on it, probably a good idea. I just want to get it down, kind of level it out. Like say that hook would kind of ride a bit of an angle going up. I want this fly to travel straight. Just a searching fly. What we mean by searching flies, they don't really imitate anything. They're just attractors. So we can do whatever we want. We can trick them out however we like. There's no rules. Be surprised what the trout will eat. Now here on the tail, I'm going to be using, here's some crystal flash. And I just made my own rainbow. I got green and I got pearl. Put a few different colors together and make your own. So that's a little tidbit of a trick for you. Not much of a trick, but okay, now we want to, I'm going to put a little underbody on this fly. I'm going to put some holographic tinsel here. Just going to show through the bottom. Before I go there, I got to get my thread. I want to make sure I get this transition between the lead and the shank. I want to get that smoothed out. Otherwise, the next steps aren't going to work too good. Okay, now when I was tying flies, I remember, you see all these different materials in the shops and whatever, and here's this vinyl rib or swan and days. It comes by different names. V-rib. And I was tying flies with it, but it didn't work very good. It was so chunky coming off the end there, especially when you get into small flies, and you can get nice fine vinyl rib here too, the V-rib, as we call it. And I'm using a lighter color here, so those undertones will pick up through it. It's translucent. It's actually pretty cool material. So, shown to me, we just grab a Bic lighter here and just warm this up. And then you can, I got a little too much heat on there, and then you can pull it down. So I'm going to just give it a little more. I wasn't enough, too much. There we go. And then just kind of melt it down, and that'll make it a lot more pliable, and you can tie it in. It's a lot thinner there now. Okay, with the deal with V-rib is there's one side of it's round and the other side of it's flat. So you want to tie the flat side up. So that way when you turn, you get the round side. Or you're supposed to. Just make sure you check it. This is always a bit of a challenge. I get so many times when you think you've got it tied properly, and I'll get that little snippet out of there. I don't like that's in my road. So you want to check it here before you start tying your fly that it's going to wrap round side. See, that's flat side up. I don't want that. So this videos that I'm doing, these instructional videos, are taking time, but I'm showing you what kind of problems you're going to run across. Now there's round side up. See how that looks like a nice body there? Okay. So I've actually tied it properly. I'll make sure there's no lumps and bumps coming forward. I'm going to grab this holographic underneath here just to give it a cool effect. This is kind of fun. You can do some of this kind of stuff just for giggles, you know, and it'll catch fish too. So it's always fun to play around with stuff, but basically stay with the good old patterns, what I'd recommend. I don't get carried away with what I'm doing here. I just want to show you a couple of techniques that we're getting into on this bug. So, because I think you're going to like V-rib bugs. They work good on caddis and all kinds of things. So you can, now here this material here is getting really short. I've got this copper. So what you want to do instead of losing it, just hold it there with your finger. This is kind of basic stuff, but you can just kind of hold it there and work it around it. See how I lost it? So we're going to go around again. And that's always a little frustrating, but you get it captured there. Or you can put a hackle plier on it. That's okay too. Now we put a little more glint underneath it there. That's pretty bright under there. I'll just cover the rest up with my orange, because that'll come through too. So I just make sure I fill the spaces on the lid. And we're going to get right up in here. So now we should have our nice rib body here. Wrap it tight. That is actually flat side up now. And you'll see the difference. It's a complete rounded body. It doesn't have the segmentation as much, will not show through as the other side. So you can use V-rib both ways. Let me show you the other one here, so you can see the difference of the body. See that, how the body is really different. That one's segmented and this one's smooth. They both work. They both have their reason, their purpose. So just be mindful of that. You can use it both ways. Okay, now we want to put a little bit of thorax on here, but I want to add a little bling to it. I do this with a lot of flies. So I'm going to get myself a dubbing twister. Now they could be what we call a dubbing whirl. You can maybe see these. Just turn that in your hand. You just wrap your thread in there like so, and you got a opening the bottom. Now here I'm going to grab, this is kind of a blend of I think some shadow dubbing or something, and then some ice dub. I'm just going to put a little in there. A little, oh, you can just pinch that off inside. I got way more than I need. That's okay. We can always strip that out when we're done. Then we just spin that up for a little dubbing noodle. And you see how nice your fibers are coming off the side. That's a great way to do flies. I do a lot of that under collars. And dubbing noodles, I mean, there is just an unlimited amount of use for them. So I've got something going on here that you don't want to do, and I got that head crowded. I got too much going on here. So back it off. That's why I'm taking time. I'm showing you the problems, because you're gonna, fly tying is a lot of fun, but it can be fairly frustrating once you get everything going on and you make a little simple mistake and you wonder, what did I do? Okay, grab me a little hook on here for now. Now I want to make sure that I have it tied back. Put a half hitch in there. Okay, now that should hold it back to where I want it. Some of these videos get a little lengthy. These aren't tying demos as much as educational content for you. So I'm going to go through here, get a couple turns, whatever I want, and then I'm good. I'm going to tie that off. Now I can cut that off and reuse this extra stuff I put in there. We can use that for another fly. Not a problem. You can always take away, but it's hard to add when you're doing brushes, of course, and dubbing noodles. Okay. So that gives a nice undercolor. Now, one of my favorite materials is partridge. All kinds of feathers in here. It'd be nice for a big fly like that. Small ones way down the bottom I showed you earlier, and those other flies, there's some nice brown ones back here. And you can buy them packaged. So what I'm going to do is prepare, just get the junk off the bottom there. Grab the tip. This applies, you can tie really small flies this way, so I'm just showing you on a larger fly. This is the easiest way to learn. And tie it in where you catch it with that folded back, and then cut that tip off. Okay. And I like these spring-loaded hackle pliers for this, because I want to fold this hackle. These soft hackle flies are very underestimated. Those fish love eating soft hackles. And when I say soft hackles, a lot of them are really small. I got a box full that are tiny soft hackles, and they work so well. So we just come over the top, tie that butt off. A lot of people tie it in from the butt, but you got all that heavy stem there. I want to use that thin stem on the tip. Okay, now another thing we got going on here is we've got a lot of, I did that on purpose, if you believe that or not. But anyway, here's some frizzy stuff coming out underneath my thread. Sticking out, it's in the way. It's hard to cut off. So I'm going to finish my fly with my whip finish tool. There we go. Cut that off. Get a nice head on there. Bring in your fingers. Got to protect all your hackles. And bring your little bit glider in again. And there it is. Boom, gone. And that fly looks nice and clean. So there's another little tip. We're just throwing a bunch of different odds and ends at you on this one. It's a test drive this fly. Got a little bit of that stem sticking out there. Didn't see it until I got to the underside. So that's okay. We're not going to burn that off. We're going to have to cut that off. But there you go. Bringing my light. I'm using Solarez bone dry. I use that on a lot of flies to set a head cement. But you see that undercolor I put in there? It's got some UV materials in it. That shadow dubbing's got some of that UV stuff, and you see how that shines? And the tail, how it's lit up, there's some neon in there. Fish see that. They see UV rays, we don't. So imagine that coming at them. That is a searching little bug right there. I've never thrown it, but I wouldn't be afraid to throw that after so many different species. I don't care if it's trout or bass, you name it. They'd eat that. Salmon would eat that. Okay, let's go to the next fly.
Thanks for joining us today with our fly guy Brent Schlenker. Check out his new videos on Brent's YouTube channel and Sport Fishing on the Fly.